webinar we go live on YouTube, and people can follow our channel SGCCI Surat on YouTube. Those who have missed the webinar can able to see them again on YouTube. Participants can ask questions in question and answer window. We have approximately 160 participants as of now in this webinar. SGCCI is working on overall growth of trade and industry. Chamber is blessed with a wonderful team backed by devoted back office. The whole karma is led by a dynamic and dashing core of office workers. And I invite and request here with Dhiren Tharnani, Honorary Secretary of SGCCI, to have welcome address for today's webinar. Over to Dhiren.
Thank you, Sanjay. Good evening, everybody. जैसे संजय ने बताया कि ये चैम्बर का वेबिनार सीरीज जो चल रही है और हर वेबिनार में कुछ अलग अलग सब्जेक्ट्स हम लेके और मतलब जो स्पीकर्स जो होते हैं, जो फैकल्टी जो होते हैं, वो चैम्बर के मेंबर्स और चैम्बर्स के मेंबर भी अलावा जो भी है यहाँ पे अटेंडेंट, सबको कुछ अलग विषय पे बात करते हैं हम लोग। आज का जो हमारा विषय है वो है चैलेंजेस एंड अपॉर्चुनिटीज फॉर स्टार्टअप्स ड्यूरिंग कोविड-19। मित्रों, आपने कल प्रधानमंत्री की बात भी सुनी होगी जो उन्होंने अनाउंस किया था। उनमें भी उन्होंने एक बात का मतलब एक बोला था कि यंग जो भी साइंटिस्ट है हमारे देश में वो कुछ आगे आए और कुछ वैक्सीन की जो सब लोग मतलब ये कर रहे हैं, रिसर्च कर रहे हैं, उसमें कुछ आगे आके कुछ ना कुछ वो ऐसी वैक्सीन निकाले कि जो पूरी दुनिया में वो काम लगे। तो ये एक प्रकार का उनका यही आह्वान था कि जो स्टार्टअप्स करने वाले हैं वो ये इस तरह का जो अपॉर्चुनिटी है आज हमारे देश में और पूरी दुनिया में वो उठाए। सिर्फ वैक्सीन की बात नहीं है दोस्तों, बहुत सारे ऐसी अपॉर्चुनिटीज अभी खुलने वाली है, बहुत सारे ऐसे चैलेंजेस भी आने वाले हैं। तो लेकिन वो चैलेंजेस को पार करके किस तरह से हम लोग ये अपॉर्चुनिटीज को ग्रैब करें और किस तरह हम अभी आफ्टर कोविड-19 हम लोग कैसे आगे बढ़े और क्या करना चाहिए। वैसे स्टार्टअप्स हमारे यहाँ कंट्री में बहुत मतलब एकदम फास्ट ग्रोइंग चल रहा है, लेकिन अभी जो कोविड-19 है तो कोविड-19 के बाद क्या होने वाला है, तो पूरी जानकारी जो आज हम हमारे यहाँ जो हमारे बीच जो स्पीकर है वो आए हैं वो हमें देने वाले हैं। यहाँ पे हमारे बीच जसमीत तीन, ही इज अ को-फाउंडर ऑफ आउटलुक, मैं उनका हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ। हमारे यहाँ हमारे बीच आज मिथुन श्रीवास्तव, फाउंडर ब्लो हॉर्न, उनका भी मैं चैम्बर की ओर से मैं हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ। पीयूष जैन है हमारे साथ, ही इज अ को-फाउंडर ऑफ इम्पैक्ट गुरु, उनका भी मैं स्वागत करता हूँ। और विनय सिंगल, ही इज अ को-फाउंडर ऑफ कैचअप। तो ये चारों जो स्पीकर्स हैं उनका मैं चैम्बर की ओर से मैं स्वागत करता हूँ। और आज का हमारा प्रोग्राम का जो मॉडरेट करने वाले हैं, ही इज अ वेरी वेल नोन चार्टर अकाउंटेंट एंड ही इज अ फाइनेंशियल गुरु, ऐसा मैं कहूँ तो चलेगा। हमारे ही मेंबर्स है गौरव सिंघवी, तो उनका भी मैं चैम्बर की तरफ से मैं हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूँ। और संजय को मैं आगे की कार्यवाही के लिए विनती करता हूँ। संजय और जो भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं उनको भी मैं वेलकम करता हूँ। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
So when new companies like Ola, Uber change your mobility solutions, Oyo can change hospitality, Zomato, Swiggy can change eating habits, or Netflix Prime can change entertainment, we have curiosity to know who else in startup rising and how do they work for innovation and ideas. Let's not take much of your time, and request moderator Gaurav Singhvi to take the charge. Friends, Gaurav is a multifaceted personality and had carried out many ventures under his belt. Surat City do not need any formal introduction of him, as his contribution to startups is amazing. I request to take the session from here as moderator and do wonders for exploring new vistas. Over to Gaurav.
Thank you, Sanjay bhai. Thank you, Dhiren bhai, for providing this platform. We have today invited 4 people, and I am going to be reading out small bio of them. And चाहूंगा कि उसके बाद में वो अपने आप को थोड़ा एक संक्षिप्त बेसिस पे अपने आप को इंट्रोड्यूस करें, so that all attendees can know that what are you doing, and how your startup is impacting the entire ecosystem. So first panelist जो हैं आज वो हैं Jasmeet. Jasmeet is an engineer by education, is a founder of Kutloot. Kutloot is an offline to online social commerce company, helping millions of small offline sellers to sell online. So Jasmeet, I request you to kindly have your detailed introduction from yourself.
Thank you, Gaurav ji, and thank you everyone. बहुत अच्छा लगा यहाँ पर आकर, and it's great to connect to Surat because Surat मेरे लिए बहुत close है. मैं अपनी life की first job की first stint.
थोड़ा louder रहेंगे please जसमीत जी.
अब आ रही है आवाज?
हाँ, थोड़ा louder.
तो सूरत मेरे लिए बहुत ही क्लोज है बिकॉज मैंने अपनी लाइफ की फर्स्ट जॉब की फर्स्ट सेल स्टिंट सूरत में की थी. मुझे आज भी प्रिपेयर्ड मार्केट याद है. सो मैं आप लोग को कूटलूट के बारे में बोलूंगा, अपने बारे में बोलूंगा. सो इंडिया में 500 मिलियन इंटरनेट यूजर्स हैं, कुछ क्लोज टू 2 मिलियन सेलर्स हैं. बट प्रॉब्लम ये है कि सब कुछ ऑफलाइन हो रहा है और लोगों का धंधा बढ़ नहीं रहा है बिकॉज Amazon, फ्लिपकार्ट, स्नैपडील, इस पे सारे बड़े सेलर्स जाके जो सबसे बड़ा धंधा कर रहे हैं, जो छोटे दुकानदार है वो आज भी एक छोटी एरिया में छोटी जगह बेच रहे हैं. उनका धंधा बढ़ नहीं रहा बिकॉज कंपटीशन बहुत ज्यादा है. सो हम एग्जैक्टली इंडिया के उस छोटे दुकानदार के लिए हमने कूटलूट स्टार्ट किया है. सो कूटलूट छोटे दुकानदारों को ऑनलाइन हेल्प करता है बेचने के लिए विदाउट एनी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन, विदाउट एनी पेपर वर्क, सिर्फ एक फोन और इंटरनेट के थ्रू. और बायर्स ऑल ओवर इंडिया उन दुकानदार के साथ बार्गेन करके, चैट करके, ऐप के थ्रू या वेब के थ्रू उनके प्रोडक्ट्स खरीद सकते हैं. सो हमारा आइडिया ये है कि छोटे दुकानदारों को अपना धंधा बढ़ाने के लिए उनको ऑनलाइन लेकर जाते हैं और एट द सेम टाइम हम छोटे दुकानदारों को सप्लाई चेन का भी ध्यान रखते हैं. हम उनको सीधा मैन्युफैक्चरर से सब मिडिलमैन को हटाकर उनके दुकान के लिए हम सप्लाई भी ला कर देते हैं. सो दैट इज व्हाट कूटलूट डज. इट इज अ सोशल कॉमर्स कंपनी जहाँ छोटे दुकानदार ऐप के थ्रू, व्हाट्सएप के थ्रू, फेसबुक के थ्रू अपना माल पूरे इंडिया में बेच सकते हैं. हम डिलीवरी भी देते हैं और हम सब कुछ उनका ध्यान भी रखते हैं.
Out of all of us, I think Jasmeet, you are the one who has raised fund from China also. So we will learn more about that also. कि आपने कैसे चाइना से ऑपरेट कर रहे हो और अभी भी आपका चाइना ऑपरेशन चल रहा है, तो we'll certainly know more about that also.
जी सर.
So now I would like to invite Mithun. Mithun, who holds an MBA degree from Cambridge, is a founder of Blowhorn. Blowhorn is building a logistic network for Bharat. Bharat is basically rural India. By leveraging its full stack, asset-light, intra-city logistic network across 50 cities in India. So, Mithun, please share your startup here.
Absolutely. So, first of all, thanks for the Chamber of Commerce for having me here and sharing my thoughts. Thanks everyone for hosting us. Guys, my Hindi is not great, so I will stick to English as much as possible. Yeah. So I run Blowhorn. Blowhorn is a asset-light intra-city logistics company. So you can think of us as like Uber or Ola, but for moving goods. On top of that, we also have a warehouse network which we have set up across multiple cities. Our major hubs of operations are Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bombay, and Delhi. And then we have operations in 45 other smaller towns, and we are scaling up very fast. So fundamentally, if you have ever used an e-commerce delivery in any of these cities, chances are 1 out of 3 deliveries, we are the guys doing it. So we do close to about 1.5 million deliveries a month. So we have a 300-member team working across multiple cities, and we have been operational for over 5 years now.
So Mithun is a logistic, startup. They are into logistics space. Mithun, आपका चेहरा पूरी तरह से नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है, तो आप थोड़ा सा यदि लाइट करेंगे अपने आसपास, तो that would be great.
Is this better?
Not that, but yes, you can try a little more. Piyush, now I would like to introduce Piyush. So I would like to invite Piyush Jain. Piyush Jain is basically an alumni from Harvard. And Piyush founded a company called Impact Guru, which is a leading healthcare funding financing platform for patients. It's a very interesting thing which Piyush does, raising money online for medical expenses through crowdfunding. So his startup is actually a healthcare crowdfunding platform. And I request Piyush kindly share your startup. You are mute. You are mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you, Gaurav ji, for the introduction. Impact Guru चालू करने से पहले मैं actually 13 साल US, UK, सिंगापुर, हांगकांग में बाहर पढ़ाई की और JP Morgan और BCG में मैंने काम किया था. मेरा इंटरेस्ट हमेशा यही था कि कैसे मैं अपने फाइनेंस और टेक्नोलॉजी इंटरेस्ट को यूज करके एक ऐसा बिजनेस क्रिएट करूं जो प्रॉफिट भी क्रिएट कर सके प्लस लोगों की भी मदद कर सके. तो जो प्रॉब्लम हम फोकस कर रहे हैं वो है हॉस्पिटल फाइनेंसिंग. तो आपको शायद काफी जनों को मालूम होगा कि इंडिया में हमारी जो 1.3 बिलियन पॉपुलेशन है, इसमें से जो मिडिल क्लास है, और अगर आप आयुष्मान भारत का 500 मिलियन को एक्सक्लूड कर दें जिसकी गवर्नमेंट मदद करती है 5 लाख रुपए की, बाकी जो 800 मिलियन मिडिल क्लास हैं, उसमें से 500 मिलियन लोगों के पास बिल्कुल ही इंश्योरेंस ही नहीं है हेल्थ का, और जिसके पास है उनके पास एवरेज भी 5 लाख रुपए ही है. और हॉस्पिटल के खर्चे इतने ज्यादा बढ़ रहे हैं कि अब लोगों को एक नया ऑल्टरनेटिव चाहिए. अगर उनके पास इंश्योरेंस नहीं है और ना ही आजकल कुछ लोन्स मिल सकते हैं, इतना ज्यादा कैंसर बढ़ रहा है, हार्ट डिजीजेस बढ़ रहे हैं, तो हम इन सारे लोगों की जिनको भी पैसे चाहिए हमारे टेक्नोलॉजी प्लेटफॉर्म से मदद करते हैं कि अपने फ्रेंड्स, फैमिली और फिर उनके आगे उनके वर्क के दोस्त, उनके कॉलेज के दोस्त और कंप्लीट स्ट्रेंजर्स से पैसा रेस कर सकें. हमारा प्लेटफॉर्म इतना अच्छा चल रहा है अभी कि इवन पहला पेशेंट जो चाइना में था जिसको कोविड-19 हुआ था, जो फॉरेनर था, वो भी एक्चुअली एक इंडियन वुमन थी और हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म ने उसके लिए 40 लाख रुपए इकट्ठा किए. तो हम क्राउड फंडिंग करते हैं और CSR भी करते हैं. तो हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव है कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज करके मैक्सिमम लोगों की मदद कर सकें.
Thank you, Piyush. And it's almost about 4 years. I know Piyush, first pitch I heard in Jito Pune for Piyush. And since then I'm, excited about his startup and he's doing wonderful. Every day we are getting some other update for Impact Group. So all the very best to you, Piyush. Now I would like to invite, Vinay. Vinay is a dynamic person. Vinay is single. Vinay comes from a city called Indore. And, so Stag, his startup name is Stag. Stag is a OTT platform for regional language entertainment. So actually it's a Netflix kind of a platform, which on stand-up art forms. So India has a huge stand-up art forms like comedy, poetry, storytelling, एंड इस तरह की बहुत सारी विविध हमारे पास में चीजें हैं जो कि हम दिखाना चाहते हैं. और हमारे भारत के ऐसे बहुत सारे एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी लोग हैं. आप देखेंगे तो वी हैव सो मेनी आर्ट फॉर्म्स वेयर वी वांटेड टू परफॉर्म, and there is absolutely no vernacular platform which has, but so Vinay is solving that problem. It has been founded by Vinay and previously he has had a company called Witty Feed. हम में से बहुत सारे लोग उस कंपनी को जानते होंगे और at one point of time they had 20 million users to them, that kind of understanding he has to market. And this is basically OTT platform, streaming platform, and I request Vinay to explain more.
Thank you Gaurav ji for आपने इस वेबिनार में मुझे इनवाइट किया. सबसे पहले तो सारे अटेंडेंट्स को बहुत सारी बधाई और सारे ऑर्गेनाइजर्स को बधाई, क्योंकि मैं पहली बार कोई ऐसा वेबिनार देख रहा हूँ जिसमें 250 लोग ऑलमोस्ट अभी ज्वाइन करे हुए हैं. एंड दिस इज फिनोमिनल. मतलब आई हैव नॉट, मैंने कभी ऐसा देखा नहीं है पहले. तो आई एम क्वाइट ग्लैड टू सी दिस. मेरे को बहुत अमेजिंग लग रहा है अभी कि मैं घर बैठे अभी अगर ये एक ऑफलाइन कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही होती तो मैं बहुत जोरदार ताली बजाने के लिए बोलता सबको कि इतने बहुत गजब के पार्टिसिपेशन के लिए और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए ताली बजाई जाए सबसे पहले. तो दूसरा मैं बहुत एक चीज और नोटिस कर रहा था कि एंड ये आखिरी पैनलिस्ट को इंट्रोड्यूस करने का फायदा है कि मैंने देखा कि जो 3 मेरे को पैनलिस्ट हैं और अगेन आई नो मोस्ट ऑफ दिस गाइज अर्लियर फ्रॉम अर्लियर एज वेल. बहुत अमेजिंग चीज ये है कि हम चारों कंपनियां भारत की कंपनियां हैं. हम चारों लोग भारत की प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व कर रहे हैं और ये हमारे देश के स्टार्टअप इकोसिस्टम की मैच्योरिटी को बहुत ही अच्छे से डिस्क्राइब करता है. ये बता रहा है कि हमारा देश का इकोसिस्टम कैसे अब ग्रो करके जो वो टॉप 50 मिलियन लोग थे या टॉप 5 करोड़ लोग थे जिन्होंने पूरा इंटरनेट को कब्जे में ले रखा था, उससे निकल के कैसे अब इंटरनेट और फाउंडर्स और कंपनियां और स्टार्टअप जो हैं वो भारत को एज अ ऑडियंस एड्रेस कर रही हैं और उसकी प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व कर रही हैं. तो ये बहुत ही अगेन बधाई के पात्र हैं सब लोग जो पैनल पे हैं और वो बाकी 3 मेरे को पैनलिस्ट फाउंडर्स जो भारत के लिए प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे हैं. आई एम सो ग्लैड टू सी दैट एज वेल. आई माई सेल्फ इज वेरी पैशनेट अबाउट इट, क्योंकि मैं खुद भारत के लिए कंपनी बना रहा हूँ. तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है जब बाकी भारत की कंपनियों को देखने को मिलता है. टेकिंग कपल ऑफ मिनट्स टू टॉक अबाउट हम क्या करते हैं. तो हमारी जो कंपनी है वो 2 प्रोडक्ट्स हमारे हैं, एक विटी फीड और एक स्टेज. तो असेंशली हमारी हम जो प्रॉब्लम एड्रेस कर रहे हैं बहुत सिंपल है कि जो इंटरनेट है, जैसे कि जसमीत भी बता रहे थे, पीयूष भाई भी बता रहे थे, मिथुन जी भी बता रहे थे कि इंटरनेट 2 भागों में बटा हुआ है इंडिया में, टॉप 50 मिलियन और बाकी 500 मिलियन, राइट. और वो बाकी 500 मिलियन के साथ हुआ क्या है कि उनको हमने ऐसे बस छोड़ दिया इंटरनेट पे, और उनके लिए कुछ बनाया नहीं है. उनके लिए प्रोडक्ट्स नहीं बने, उनके लिए कंटेंट नहीं बना, उनके लिए ज़्यादा पब्लिशर्स नहीं बने, क्योंकि उनके पास शायद बाइंग कैपेसिटी की कम थी. सबको लगता था कि वहाँ पे एडवर्टाइजर नहीं है तो पैसा कौन देगा, कौन ब्रांड वहाँ पे खरीदेगा, बाइंग कैपेसिटी नहीं है, इस तरह की चीज़ें थी. तो किसी ने इंटरनेट उनके लिए बनाया नहीं. और हुआ क्या कि हुआ क्या कि जो इंटरनेट था वो सारा उन 500 मिलियन के लिए खाली छोड़ दिया हमने, और उसको आके हमारे चाइनीज कंपनीज ने कैप्चर कर लिया. अगर आप देखेंगे तो भारत की जो टॉप कंपनीज हैं, कंटेंट कंपनीज, क्योंकि मेरा फोटे कंटेंट में है तो मैं वहां बात कर सकता हूँ. भारत की कंटेंट कंपनीज हैं टिकटॉक, शेयरचैट, हेलो, बिगो, लाइक, इस तरह की कुछ कंपनी और बहुत सारी. जो आप टॉप एप्स निकालें इंडिया में कंटेंट की, सारी चाइनीज कंपनीज हैं. एंड इट इज डेंजरस फॉर अस एज अ कंट्री. वी हैव टू लुक इनटू दिस, एंड अदरवाइज आल्सो वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट हमें एज अ कंट्री we need to create companies and content for those 500 million people जो ऑनलाइन आए और उनके लिए कभी कंटेंट बना ही नहीं है. अब ये सारी कंपनियां क्या कर रही है ना, इन सब ने उन लोगों को डम समझा है, इन लोगों ने उनको बेवकूफ समझा है, इन लोगों ने उनको समझा है कि ये लोग ज्यादा इंटेलिजेंट नहीं है, पढ़े लिखे नहीं है. इसलिए आप देखिए कि जो इंटरनेट का कंटेंट है उसकी क्वालिटी बहुत खराब है, बहुत डिग्रेड होती जा रही है, और इंटरटेनमेंट जो है वो डम होता जा रहा है डे टू डे. तो वहीं पे बस हमने प्रॉब्लम को आइडेंटिफाई किया और हमने बोला कि हम अपनी कल्चर के बेस पे हम अपनी एकदम भारत के अंदर घुसते हैं और वहां पे एक कंटेंट कंपनी खड़ी करते हैं जो भारत को समझती हो बहुत अच्छे से. और इसलिए हमने दुनिया का पहला डायलेक्ट बेस्ड ओटीटी प्लेटफॉर्म बनाया है. तो बेसिकली वी आर लाइक ए नेटफ्लिक्स फॉर ईच ऑफ द लोकल डायलेक्ट्स. जैसे हरियाणवी है, भोजपुरी है, बुंदेलखंडी है, जैसे गुजराती भाषा है, लेकिन गुजराती भाषा के अंदर भी 2-3 अलग अलग बोलियां होंगी. जो सदर्न गुजरात में कुछ और टाइप की गुजराती बोली जाती होगी, अहमदाबाद साइड में कोई और गुजराती बोलते होंगे, एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. अगेन माय नॉलेज इज अ बिट लिमिटेड ऑन द गुजराती साइड देयर. तो हमने बोलियों पे पहला नेटफ्लिक्स बनाने की कोशिश हम कर रहे हैं. और स्टेज अभी हमने सबसे पहले हरियाणवी में बनाया है, एंड वी बीन गेटिंग फिनोमिनल रिस्पांस फ्रॉम पीपल देयर, एंड वी बीन एबल टू प्रूव द फैक्ट कि भारत में बहुत पोटेंशियल है, बहुत लोग हैं, वो अच्छा कंटेंट चाहते हैं, अच्छी कंपनियां चाहते हैं, बस हम लोग को बनाने की जरूरत है. और शायद इसलिए एक बार फिर मेरे तीनों को पैनलिस्ट का बहुत शुक्रिया कि आप सब भारत की प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व कर रहे हैं और भारत के लिए कंपनियां बना रहे हैं. थैंक यू गौरव जी वंस अगेन.
Gaurav, sorry to disturb you. I welcome Mr. Adul. He is a retired director, Department of Foreign Trade, Government of Thailand, and he invited Thailand participants. So he requested to speak in English also. So I request all the panelists to speak in English also. Okay, and welcome, Mr. Adul. Welcome. Over to Gaurav.
Yeah, so we will be facing now an interesting problem. Few participants wanted to listen us in Hindi. कुछ लोग हमें हिंदी में सुनना चाहते हैं, and some people wanted to listen us English.
We can mix both the language.
Yeah. So I'll try to do the justice with it.
Okay.
So friends, very interestingly, you must have seen that all the 4 people, panelists of ours and startups, are they have raised multiple rounds of funding for their startups. And they individually are solving, purely an indigenous company, Indian company, and they are solving Bharat problem. They are solving the problem which a layman has, and all the 4 are into a diverse field. One is social commerce company, which is Jasmeet is handling, logistic network, which Mithun is taking care, and Impact Group, which is healthcare crowdfunding platform, and then Stage, which is over the top streaming platform, which is there. So चारों बहुत ही different industries से हैं, and it will give us a good flavor today. When we will be interacting with them, we will know more about it, that how COVID is going to be impacting them, or how in general business or startup is seeing this opportunity or a challenge. The first question which I wanted to ask to Jasmeet.
Yeah.
How has the current scenario helped you to learn new skills or make improvement in your business operations?
Sure. So I think the current scenario is something that happens one in a lifetime. हम किसी ने नहीं सोचा था कि हम सब घर पे बैठे होंगे, वो भी इतने दिन, और घर पे बैठना सबसे ज्यादा important हो जाएगा. So I think it is a shock for everyone, but at the same time, this is an opportunity. And why I am saying this is an opportunity, and like Vinay also said about Chinese companies and about how China is ruling the world, there is a reason why they did what they did. And e-commerce in China actually took off in 2003 after SARS. It's exactly the same scenario, just about 17 years ago in a different country at a different scale. And that is what is happening today in India. So हमारे लिए for Kootloot, because हम दुकानदारों के साथ काम करते हैं, because we work with shopkeepers, it was a very, very unique problem and opportunity. So जो हमारा मॉडल है वो है छोटे दुकानदारों को ऑनलाइन लेके जाने का. So हमने ये देखा कि आज हम सबको एसेंशियल गुड्स की जरूरत है. हम सब घर पे बैठे हैं, अभी फैशन नहीं खरीद रहे हैं या इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स नहीं खरीद रहे हैं, बट एसेंशियल गुड्स खरीद रहे हैं. So what we did during this time as an opportunity, in fact about 3 days ago, I also hope कि ये आप सूरत में भी आप लोगों को सर्विस दिख रही होगी, you could order essential goods from stores which are right next to you. So this is an opportunity that we did on the platform, on the app. और ये हमने क्यों किया हम वो भी बता देते हैं. Because no matter wherever you live, you only know about those 2-3 general stores that you visit every day. आपको वही 2-3 दुकान पता है जहां आप हर बार जाते हो, पर आपके 1 किलोमीटर के एरिया में इतनी सारी दुकानदारें होती है और इतनी सारी दुकान होती है जो आपको पता ही नहीं है, जो आपको ये सारी चीजें प्रोवाइड कर सकती है. सो ये कोविड की अपॉर्चुनिटी देखते हुए what we did was we have aggregated all the offline essential stores, and through your phone in 1 to 3 kilometer area you can see all these stores. You could chat directly with the sellers and order, or you could just phone them and order the products और आपको सब डिलीवरी मिल जाएगी. सो ये अपॉर्चुनिटी था जो हमने ये वायरस को करके देखा. अब जो दूसरी अपॉर्चुनिटी दैट वी आर आल्सो डूइंग इज करंटली मार्केट में सप्लाई की कमी हो जाएगी. जब मार्केट खुलेगा, there will be a big flux of supply in the market. So what we are also doing is we are making sure कि जब shops खुलेंगे immediately सारा supply chain normalize नहीं होगा. So for the same, what we are doing is we are taking pre-bookings from all the shops, and as soon as the shops open, we will definitely provide all the supply in the shops in the first week of the shops opening. And for that, we have already procured all the products from China, because वहाँ पे अब सब कुछ ठीक हो गया है, और उनका सप्लाई चेन सबसे स्ट्रांग है. इंडिया की मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जैसे धीरे धीरे बढ़ रही है, हम भी इंडियन सप्लायर्स को भी ऑनबोर्ड कर रहे हैं और वो प्राइसिंग हमारे दुकानदारों को दे रहे हैं. So I believe that there are 2 ways to look at a problem. Either you can say it's a problem or you can say it's an opportunity. The way how we look at it is that it's an opportunity, and which is how we are working towards this, is that we have tweaked the business model in such a way कि आज भी हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे ट्रांजैक्शंस हो रहे हैं. इनफैक्ट पहले से ज्यादा वॉल्यूम्स हो रहे हैं. इनफैक्ट हम टॉप 30 इंडिया में एप्स में भी ट्रेंडिंग हो रहे हैं, टॉप 10 ट्रेंडिंग एप्स में भी हो रहे हैं, पिछले 2-3 हफ्तों से हो रहे हैं. And the only reason for that is just doing the right things at the right time. सही टाइम पे सही चीज करने से काफी सारी प्रॉब्लम्स अपॉर्चुनिटीज में बदल जाती है. सो आई थिंक adaptation and adapting to the problems and scenarios is something जो हमने सीखा और हमने इस मोमेंट में किया है. और कुछ मैजिक करने की जरूरत नहीं है. जो एग्जिस्टिंग चीजें हैं, जो एग्जिस्टिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है, बस उसी को आपको एग्रीगेट करना है, उसी को आपको टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू लोगों तक पहुंचाना है. एंड आप बिलीव नहीं करोगे लाइफ में आप कितने सारे लोगों को इम्पैक्ट कर पाओगे, ना कि सिर्फ फाइनेंसिंग से, बट उनका बिजनेस बढ़ा के. एंड वंस यू एक्चुअली do something for a seller or a businessman, then he's yours for life. So I believe that that you have to make sure that using technology आप प्रॉब्लम्स को अडैप्ट करके कैसे सॉल्यूशंस बना सकते हैं, वो हमने इस टाइम में किया है, और वो हमारी सबसे बड़ी लर्निंग रही है, और वो फास्ट करना भी हमारी सबसे बड़ी लर्निंग रही है.
Thank you, Jasmeet. So very interesting point you brought out that 17 years before, when China had the same kind of infection, I think they took off. So
Yeah.
maybe we don't know, or there is a likely possibility, a very, very high optimistic person, and I think that it's going to be creating a new environment for India. So
Yeah.
that's going to be there, friends. There should not be a one-way communication. I like that all attendees write ready to know more in chat. let's write ready. Let's write ready in the chat box so that we can know that you are listening what we are saying from here. Yeah, I can see ready. Fill this with ready. Now I'm going to ask Mithun. Mithun, how are you addressing the current challenge in your company during the lockdown period? Mithun, this is the question to you. Mithun, you are mute.
Guys, so I think we had built this particular business with a lot of logistics resilience from 2014 when we started it. One of the first calls or one of the first fights I had with my co-founder was to kind of work on one particular HR principle, which is, do we allow work from home? And how do we treat employee vacations, right? So from day one, we decided to take a call that we'll allow everybody to work from home as much as they wanted, right? And the second call we took was we would not count how many vacations an employee takes. We believe that employees will be responsible. We have hired adults who are responsible people, and they will manage their vacations whenever they want without causing business disruption. So from day one, the kind of tools that we built and the kind of business calls that we took went around this configuration, because we found that our overheads, the key overhead cost for us was rentals. And if we had to expand to 50 or 100 cities, it would be very difficult when 70% of your team would be out on the ground every day and there was no need of excess office space. So we took that call at the very beginning. And about 1.5 years back, a lot of our colleagues used to come to office even then. And we used to ask them, why are you coming to office, right? You can go and still do sales on the ground. Why are you coming back home? Coming to office. They said, look, we need to make the entries on the laptop, right? And the internet is not great at home. So then we again went on a mobile first approach so that all the operations can be carried on a mobile phone, from the CEO to the head of operations and whatnot. So for us, it's almost business as usual. And the testament to that is close to, we are still running 50 to 60% of our fleet every day.
That's great.
Even during COVID times. So this was a call which we had taken at the very beginning, right? What are the other challenges we are facing? One of the key challenges we are facing is information flowing from the top government officials down to the last mile, which is the constables, the policemen, right? The local corporator, the local teams and whatnot. So what's happening is whatever information is coming from the top, by the time it comes to the bottom, they are misinterpreting the information. But luckily, we live in a very connected world, and we have been very lucky to work with the local governments in each of these cities. So immediately, we are trying to again escalate this using Twitter. We have been directly going and meeting people and whatnot. So this has been an excellent time, even for the governments to wake up and realize how important logistics is. I mean, it was always, I'm sorry to say this on a public platform, but to use the word, it was an unsexy sector. It was not sexy. Logistics, nobody knew, right? So if we do 500 deliveries to you, you wouldn't say thanks. But the one day when the delivery became delayed, we would get escalations and, we would get galis and whatnot. So fundamentally, now I think even the government's woken up to this particular thing and we are working very closely with them. What we are doing now is we are exposing our platforms. We are giving it for free to a lot of the government agencies that we are working with so that they can use it, right? Now, let's say they want to distribute vaccines. They want to distribute PPEs, for example. We have been able to kind of directly map all these 20 hospitals. We have been able to do route mapping so that very efficiently they'll be able to distribute in one cycle, right? So these are some of the things we are doing. Fundamentally, technology is changing the landscape of how we are beating COVID on the ground.
Perfect. So your 40 to 50% operation is going on right now, Mithun?
Yes, that's right.
That's really wonderful.
But bear in mind that this is not, before we used to move a lot of non-essential goods. Because we are an asset-light business and we don't own assets, it's been much easy for us to reconfigure our assets very quickly to kind of move essential goods, right? So we have been able to move where the market is moving.
Okay, perfect. So now मैं पीयूष से पूछना चाहूँगा. Piyush, this current times is there. So there will be some irreversible changes will happen in the landscape. And What do you think? What will be those irreversible changes which will happen? Can you suggest some of them?
So I think the first thing to note is a lot of people have different views on how long this entire social distancing lockdown is going to last, right? So the important thing is not to focus on when the lockdown will open, but when the economies can go back to normal. And the economies will not be able to go back to normal until the vaccines come. And the earliest indication of a vaccine is early 2021, right? So I think a lot of people are too focused on lockdown kab khulega, but they need to understand कि lockdown अगर हट भी जाए अगर कल भी, it's going to take a lot of time for people to get back to their normal ways. So what does that mean? I think from a business standpoint, I would like to share a framework in terms of thinking about it using some healthcare nomenclature. So there are some businesses जो मैं बोलूँगा candy के category में आते हैं, which is like basically it's a great thing to have, but really अगर नहीं भी हो, you will not really have a problem. So those businesses which fall in that category, maybe luxury products, they will continue to struggle for a very long time because the damage from the COVID-19 has been very, very significant, and the recovery from the consumers is going to take time. The next category of businesses I will say are vitamins. So these are important, they help, but again, in the grand scheme of things, sometimes not as essential. So some startups that can be clubbed in this today are the digital fintech lending startups, maybe a peer-to-peer lending startups. Because banks and NBFCs already loans दे रहे थे, but this was additional pool of capital. These businesses will struggle because even the banks and NBFCs are going to be very tight in terms of their credit disbursements to other partners. Then I would say is painkillers. Painkillers are those types of businesses where, once you take it, you definitely feel good. So they have a lot of important role to play. So B2B startups, many of them will come under this scenario where they are solving a very big problem. So these businesses will fare well in this situation. But now I'm talking about the best two categories. Essentials. आज की date में any business like a mask and sanitizer, which is the nomenclature for that. If you think about that in the normal economy, food delivery, grocery delivery, education technology, because schools and colleges are not open, those businesses will really, really blossom. And the ultimate best business of all is vaccine. So those are the long-term winners, the people who will create the vaccine. So the equivalent of that, I would say, in the startup construct, from my standpoint, are the digital payments business. So short-term loss hai, because e-commerce volumes are low, but the permanent solution, which is going to come 3, 6, 9 months from now, these are the ones that will really, really benefit. So health insurance companies will also be those that will fall in this category. So my overall perspective is that there will not be a quick recovery. A lot of people say कि एक V-shaped recovery होगा, जितना जल्दी market गिरा है 20-30% उतना ही जल्दी recovery होगा. ऐसा नहीं है, because it can take a long period of time. And we also do not know whether there could be a second wave. A lot of people say flatten the curve, but एक बार flatten हो गया और आपने open की economy, वापस infections बढ़ गए. So I think my prediction is that it's going to take time. It's a long road because this is a supply shock as well as demand shock. And people need to realize that जब तक long-term solution नहीं होगा, the economy will continue to have very significant impact.
Yeah, quite true and quite nicely put in, by Piyush. Vinay, I wanted to ask you, virtual meets, work from home. This is the kind of thing which every day we are also having a virtual kind of a presentation here. How these things improved productivity for startups, along with reducing overhead? How would you strive to achieve a balance between two? What's your thought on this, Vinay?
So great that you asked this question, Gaurav, because interestingly, for us, we are a content company, right? So all the content needs to be produced. For that, you need a studio, you need a camera setup, and there's a production is a very heavy collaboration industry. You need to collaborate a lot for that to happen, right? And it's like manufacturing. There's a line of production, right, where you where there is a video shot, then it goes to editor's table, then it goes to post production, and then social media and distribution, and so on and so forth. So to be honest, we never thought that our company can ever be run remotely. We never thought that that it is even possible for us to do work from home.
Okay.
Right? And but वो फिर बोलते हैं ना कि आवश्यकता ही आविष्कार की जननी है. जब जरूरत पड़ती है तो सब समझ में आता है. And you start to realize there is so much more than you ever thought there is, right? And तो सर जिस दिन ये लॉकडाउन हुआ है उस दिन के बाद से all of a sudden I think our team risen up to the task in a very big way, and we realized that जैसे पीयूष बोल रहे थे, and कि this is, and Jasmeet was also mentioning this, कि this is, you can either look at it as a problem, a challenge, or you can look at it as a opportunity today, right? And our team all of a sudden realized that people are going to be locked in their houses, and once in a lifetime opportunity where you have captive audience. इससे ज़्यादा खाली लोग कभी नहीं आपको मिलेंगे, और इससे ज़्यादा attention उनकी कभी आपको नहीं मिलेगी, right? They are hungry for content, and they're looking to consume more and more content to consume the time. And more importantly, at the same time, in times like this, information is as important as anything else, because fake news, WhatsApp University, and there is so much misinformation that keeps going around across all these things, right? So हमारी टीम ने सर क्या किया, each one of our creators, they converted their houses into studios, and their mobile cameras have become their mobile cameras have become their mobile phones have become their cameras. उन्होंने घर पे ही green screen लगा ली है, and everybody is creating content from their houses itself. Everything is happening on the go, and you will be surprised that we are producing 3 times more content than we used to produce normally.
Yes.
Our productivity has gone up by 200-300%. And as we speak, ironically, we are running a survey within our team, a 42 people team, and we are asking them that, would you ever like to come back to office? Do you think that we can continue running this office 100% remote just like this forever, right? And which kind of made us realize that, when you look into the cost headers, and when you look into different ways where company spends their money, 30 to 40% of the money goes into overheads. Where office cost, आप उनके लिए चाय कॉफी खाने का इंतजाम करते हो, आप इलेक्ट्रिसिटी पे खर्च करते हो, आप अदरवाइज अदर एंगेजमेंट एक्टिविटीज पे खर्च करते हो. ये तो डायरेक्ट पैसे का खर्चा है. But when we start to look at it from an efficiency and productivity point of view, you end up realizing कि ऑफिस में केवल 2-3 घंटे ही प्रोडक्टिवली काम होता है. उसके सिवाय तो बाकी कभी लंच करने में टाइम निकल जाएगा, कभी चाय पीने में टाइम निकल जाएगा, कभी किसी के साथ 2 मिनट बात करने लग गए तो वो 2 मिनट का आधे घंटे में फुर हो जाता, पता भी नहीं चलता है. And you all of a sudden you realize कि जब आप घर पे बैठते हो, and when you sit from 10 to 7 or whatever time you sit, you realize कि 9 घंटे बहुत होते हैं. It's a huge amount of time when you start actually productively working on these hours. And I mean, we've been amazingly happy. I genuinely believe that from after in a post-COVID era, I don't think we are going to have a large office. I genuinely don't believe, and we are very seriously considering this right now. We were, by the way, I'm right now in Gurgaon. So we've been expanding to Gurgaon very recently. And just before COVID-19, I was looking for an office space and things like that. I don't think we are going to have an office in Gurgaon anymore. I am going to be in Gurgaon, but we are going to work from home, and we are going to build a remote team, at least the new team that we were building in Gurgaon. So this is going to change us in a big way as a company, and I believe that is going to be the case with a lot of companies. A lot of companies are realizing that you don't need to be sitting in an office to work together. Most of the industries, sitting in an office is a very inefficient setup. It's the other way around, right? We always thought अगर हम साथ बैठेंगे तो collaboration ज़्यादा होगा, बेहतर होगा. But I think most of the people, and I've been speaking to a lot of founders, a lot of fellow my colleagues, etc. Everybody has been of the view that this has been extremely efficient, and the productivity has really gone up. So behaviors are going to change permanently, sir. I don't think this is a COVID-19 thing anymore. I think we are going to very clearly identify in our economic timeline that there was pre-COVID-19 era and post-COVID-19 era, and we are going to see these like Piyush was saying, पहली बात तो lockdown खत्म होने से कुछ नहीं होगा. Things are not going to be normal for a long time. But by the time we realize what is normal and what is not, I think we are going to forget the difference between that, and there is going to be a new normal altogether.
Yeah, new normal. I think.
Right? जैसे कोई आप छोटी सी सोचिए कि do you think you are going to feel comfortable in going out to a cinema hall and watch a movie anymore? And and there are so many more industries like that. So
yeah. So Vinay, wonderful thoughts you shared, and I think I'm also sharing a lot of my views to a lot of my clients and everybody, and I'm telling them, all of them, that times are going to be changing. Any business processes which you have before 15th of February will change after 15th of today's 15th of April, and will totally change. We'll have to learn how to encourage more work from home, how to have a remote teams, and all those things are going to be very much there. So Jasmeet, I would like to ask you, funding in startup have always been a slow and a low conversion ratio. Yeah. Do you believe the problem shall further be aggravated considering the current situation? Do you think so?
I do think कि अब पैसा raise करना and raising money is going to get more difficult. जहाँ पे VCs 50 startups में bet करते थे and hope करते थे कि 2 इसमें चल जाए, अब वो 20 में bet करेंगे and hope करेंगे इसमें से 1 चल जाए. So I think the ratio of startups getting funded is going to go down for sure because of because of certain scenarios and cash flow issues. But having said that, the interesting part होगा कि कौन से sector के startups को funding मिलेगा और कौन से sector को नहीं मिलेगा, वो भी फर्क पड़ने वाला है. So for example, like in 2015-16, fintech was very, very hot. In 2018-19, अब social commerce सबसे ज़्यादा hot है, right? So point is sector बदलने वाला है. At the same time, VCs का lens बदलने वाला है. Also having said that, मुझे ये भी लगता है कि अगर आपकी कंपनी तोड़ है, उसमें दम है, so nothing can stop you from raising funds. I also believe that if you are genuinely solving a real problem and you are doing it at scale, अगर आपका काम impact कर रहा है लोगों को, आपको GMV drive हो रहा है, जैसे पहले GMV को कोई VCs नहीं दिखते थे या revenue को कोई VCs नहीं दिखते थे, पिछले 1 साल से, और जब मैंने भी अभी राउंड क्लोज किया तो हमने ये देखा कि revenue, GMV are the 2 most important factors now. ये पिछले 2-3 साल पहले ये नहीं होता था. So the way now VCs are also looking at startups is going to change. उससे एक चीज ये भी होगी कि सक्सेस रेशियो ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स इज गोइंग टू गेट बेटर, बिकॉज जो स्टार्टअप बुरे वक्त में निकल के आगे आता है उसका सक्सेस का चांस और बढ़ जाता है. हमारे एक वीसी है, वो कहते हैं कि यू शुड बी ए कॉकरोच व्हेन यू रन अ स्टार्टअप. कॉकरोच एक ऐसी चीज है जो हर कंडीशन में सालों से वो अपने आप को अडेप्ट करके उससे निकलता है. सो ही ऑलवेज सेज, एंड वो एक ऐसी चीज है जो वो जो करता रहता है वही करता रहता है और अडैप्ट करता रहता है. सो यू शुड बी अ कॉकरोच एंटरप्रेन्योर एंड रन अ कॉकरोच स्टार्टअप, एंड एट द सेम टाइम कंडीशंस विल कीप ऑन चेंजिंग बिकॉज उसका किसी पे कंट्रोल नहीं है. एंड हैविंग दिस एट द सेम टाइम VC मनी जब आपके पास आएगा, it is also going to be really slow. The check sizes might become smaller. जो आज के सीड स्टेज जहाँ 1-2 मिलियन का होता है वो शायद 2014-13 के टाइम पे आ जाएगा वापस. तो वो एक थोड़ा बैकलॉग होगा, बट मुझे नहीं लगता है कि ये लार्ज स्केल और ये 2 साल या 4 साल तक ये इफेक्ट रहेगा. ये जब तक नॉर्मलाइजेशन नहीं आती तब तक होगा. इवेंचुअली मार्केट्स विल रिकवर, 2 महीने में, 4 महीने में, 6 महीने में. इट डिपेंड्स ऑन हाउ द इकोनॉमी अडेप्ट्स. टोटली उसका सबसे बड़ा फैक्टर वही है कि आपकी इकोनॉमी और आपकी देश की कंपनियां कितनी जल्दी अडेप्ट करते हैं, कितनी जल्दी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग को आप वापस ले आते हो. सप्लाई चेन आपका नॉर्मलाइज हो जाएगा तो ऑटोमेटिकली कंजम्पशन बढ़ जाएगा, बिकॉज एम्प्लॉयमेंट बढ़ जाएगी वापस. सो ये सब इंटरकनेक्टेड है. जैसे हम लोग यहाँ जितने हो गए ना, जितने हम पैनलिस्ट हैं, एक तरीके से हम सब कनेक्टेड है. सो जैसे मैं ई-कॉमर्स रन करता हूँ, मुझे मिथुन चाहिए डिलीवरीज करने के लिए, विनय चाहिए कंटेंट और प्रोडक्ट्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करने के लिए, और पीयूष चाहिए वहां पे फंड्स के लिए भी, मेरे सेलर्स के लिए या बायर्स के लिए, आफ्टर पे फीचर टाइप्स. सो द पॉइंट इज वी आर ऑल इंटरकनेक्टेड, एंड funding will slow down. But having said that, if you are a startup with conviction, you will eventually get back on your feet. In fact, I raised the round in China जब ये चल रहा था, तब हमने raise किया round. So मैं अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस से कह सकता हूँ फ्रॉम वी रेज फ्रॉम अलीबाबा फंड. सो मैं ये अपने पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंस से कह सकता हूँ कि अगर आपका प्रोडक्ट में दम है, आपको यूजर्स यूज कर रहे हैं, सेक्टर्स बदलेंगे बट फंडिंग इतनी 100% नहीं होगी, मे बी 30-40% इम्पैक्ट होगी.
Just to add to that, Gaurav, just to add to what Jasmeet said, I had a point on funding here. I absolutely agree with Jasmeet, and I can confirm myself. I am also closing a round as we go through the lockdown. Yeah. I just confirmed last week, finally closing a round, and we have raised a very good amount of money. So if your product is good, you're still going to get funded, and there is going to be enough people out there who are ready to fund you. The only thing is, जो फैड है वो फंड नहीं होगा. जो हवाबाजी के लिए फाउंडर बनाए हैं, जो 500 रुपए की एक डोमेन खरीद के को फाउंडर एंड सीईओ लगा के, और because they come from a certain institution and because they can make a really nice presentation, they go out there and raise money. I don't think that is going to happen anymore. I don't think we're going to see companies with hundreds of crores of rupees losses every month and every year, and they being hailed as successful startups. I think that is not going to happen. Now we're going to see an era where real startups are going to realize that business is an entity of wealth generation, not wealth depletion, and those businesses are going to win in this environment.
विजन पे अब पैसा मिलना बंद हो जाएगा. जो आप सीड राउंड और ये सब विजन पे रेस करते हैं वो बंद हो जाएगा. अभी इन्वेस्टर्स बोलेंगे एक काम करो, ट्रैक्शन लेकर आओ. So ये
I fully agree to both of you what you wanted to say. So because I myself is an investor, and I think probably my word to this will be having more logic than anything else. Yeah. Certainly we would like to invest on a startup which is more time tested, which has passed through this entire thing, and which is more agile to the changes and adapting more better technology in terms of that, or is creating something new out of it, creating this challenge as an opportunity. I think probably we will fund them. Mithun, what Vinay was saying that avashyakta avishkar ki janni hai. So I would like to tell that in English, that necessity is the mother of invention, innovation. Sure. Here, how was the ideology help your startup to weather this storm and bring a new perspective and in continuing the business? What's your thought on this?
Understood. So I think, one more way of looking at necessity as a mother of invention is, as Winston Churchill said, if I recall, never waste a good crisis.
Yes, very true. And
so
I follow that.
This is a good crisis. Fundamentally, what good crises do, as Piyush very elegantly put, is for inelastic demand businesses where you need to consume and whatnot. So the behavioral patterns change both on the elastic end and the inelastic end, but it will change at levels that we will not know, and it will create new streams that we cannot predict well right now. Jasmeet also got a very good insight where he said, look, post-SARS, China's e-commerce market took off, right? So fundamentally, what we have is we have the advantage of looking at history, and we have the advantage of looking at other countries as to how they were like similar shocks, not as big, but similar shocks, and how they dealt with it, right? So if even in our 5-6 years of existence, right, we had one major shock, which is 2015 was a heady year fundraise, right? So 2015 I had multiple term sheets, and I decided to kind of just wait for 2 or 3 more months and then go out, because I was hitting a revenue milestone. And suddenly in 2016 February, the music stopped, right? So there was no money in the market. So this was a good crisis. So we had no cash, but what we saw that our unit economics were great. So, we were very close to profitability, and removing some fat, right, on the cost end, we were able to kind of run the company on cash flow. And that was the same year we got into Y Combinator and so on and so forth. So what we have seen is good crises like this. You'll have to look at your technology, and you'll have to remove fat, and you'll have to put forward, So all fats have to be removed. Things which will really give a multiples to your business will have to be invested on, right? So you should not stop investing, but you should invest in the right spaces, and you should go back to first principles. Every crisis, what we do is we go back to first principles. What's the revenue? What's the cost? What are we doing on the cost end? So what is the key issue for us? Is it cash flow cycle? Is it invoice discounting? What are the alternatives we have for invoice discounting or cash factoring? How can we use technology to kind of make the cash factoring faster, right? So this is something that we consistently look at. Cash flow is king. Ensuring that cash flows come at this point is critical. So does it mean we have to write off 1% of our profits to kind of get cash fast? Sure, we will. Does it mean that we have to set up a small contest where, whichever customer pays 50% of the invoices on time or within 3 days, we'll give them 5,000 rupees cash back? Sure. So fundamentally, we focus on the first principles, we go back to cash flow, and then we look at innovations in terms of technology, what we can build, right? And the other key innovation we can do is on the revenue end, whenever there's been a stifling of revenue, right? So on the revenue end, one of the key insights for us is always adjacencies, right? So now we are something Jasmeet bought out in Outlook, right? So he has a platform. He has a wonderful platform which connects many small businesses and many small sellers to consumers.
Quite true.
Now he's reconfigured the platform very quickly, very fast to do groceries. So the same adjacencies will be evident for a lot of people. And most people will not be taking those adjacencies because generally the VC talk is focus on the core problem, right? VC talk, I think startups go through two phases. One is a wartime startup and one is a peacetime startup, right? So right now all startups are in wartime. And in wartime, I think founders' intuition will come to the forefront.
Quite
so
true.
What VCs help right now is actually give us like first principles type advice to see, hey, what can we learn from traditional businesses to kind of apply to our startups to get quickly to profitability? What are the business adjacencies that we can do? And how can we save costs? One more interesting thing where we have seen a lot of startups can save cost other than, cutting salaries and whatnot. One of the biggest costs for a lot of startups is cloud costs, software cost.
Yeah.
What we have seen is, again, taking a call. We took a call 18 months back to move to microservices. So what microservices enabled us was to move our product, run the entire system. Today, I will run it on Microsoft Cloud. Tomorrow, I'll run it on IBM Cloud. Day after tomorrow, I'll run it on AWS. It's very easy for me to move from cloud to cloud, depending on the pricing.
Perfect.
Right? So these are all small innovations, but these are all first principles innovations. There's nothing that traditional businesses don't do and don't know. They have it ingrained. But a lot of startups have to learn and again, relearn and reconfigure because we are in the growth mindset and suddenly we have to look at survival mindset. Right?
Quite true.
So these are the things I think they might not be innovations as such, but these are really good areas to kind of see where we can unlock value.
Yeah. So you will have to bring lots and lots of improvement in your all processes, businesses, and everything.
Absolutely.
I think that's going to. And very rightly quoted that there is absolutely no crisis which is you can't miss a good crisis. I think everyone, we are an entrepreneur and businessmen, we should really make sure that we capitalize on this or leverage this crisis. So I would like to ask Piyush, being in healthcare, Piyush, you are in healthcare and everybody is talking about healthcare right now. And, you are in an industry which is at the epicenter of this entire crisis. What's your view on how COVID-19 will evolve and how can you be an industry support of various social causes of COVID-19? What's your thought on around this?
Right. So I think, like I was telling you earlier, vaccines are definitely going to take time, but I think there's a lot of promising research happening on what kind of drugs and medicines are going to reduce the symptoms. Like, why is India in a lockdown? Because they don't want the hospitals to be flooded with patients, and then with the doctors themselves being ill-equipped, you don't want hospitals being shut, which was actually the case. Several of the best hospitals in Mumbai, particularly in South Mumbai, are actually shut as a consequence of that. You will see a lot of India-focused innovation, particularly for ventilators, low-cost, innovative solutions coming up, innovative solutions with regards to testing because it is completely possible that the world will no longer be the same. And kahin pe bhi aap jaoge, they are even talking about saliva based testing in America right now, where everybody will check whether you have either immunity from COVID-19 or whether you are in an infection stage or not. So I'm sure the technology is going to evolve a lot. And once COVID-19 has entered the population, I think it's going to be very difficult for us to get rid of it. So it's going to be staying for some time, and that means a lot of fundamental things are going to change. So on the hospital side, we are already seeing all of the doctors and the hospitals preparing. There are some very specific COVID-19 facilities already. And because of the huge disruption, hospitals themselves are actually suffering significant losses right now, because ek taraf se outpatient revenue has gone down, because hospitals are actually empty because they are waiting, preparing for the possible influx. And dusri taraf, even the elective surgeries, the non-critical surgeries also has reduced significantly. So it is in this time where I think as a community, this entire association can also step up and particularly think about joining our efforts to provide funding for supplying PPE to the doctors of various hospitals, whether they are private or public. Every day you see an article where even a public hospital doctor says that, hey, we do not have enough equipment. And we have one patient who comes in, we need to quarantine 30, 40 people because we do not even know what's a better way of dealing with that situation. So Impact Guru just got approved for a grant by ACT, which is Action COVID-19 team, which is all the Indian VC funds and startup founders put together. And so they have given us a grant to provide 20% extra matching funds on all the campaigns running to provide PPE supplies to doctors across the entire country. So I would love to explore if there are many entrepreneurs, people who can control CSR, Lions Club, Rotary Club, this association, other groups, on how to join efforts to make that campaign a big success. Because if we save our doctors, we will ultimately save India. And I think that's a cause that also needs attention beyond all other noble causes, whether it's food distribution, helping the daily wagers, or even setting up quarantine rooms. So I think if anybody is interested from this group, please feel free to contact me on how to scale that initiative in Gujarat.
Yeah, so that's a wonderful point you have brought out, Piyush, and I think वैसे भी सूरत या पूरा entire Gujarat people are donors only. Primarily they donate a lot, and whenever you see that something like this happens, entire of Gujarat or as Surat donates as much as they can. So probably this promotion will certainly take a lot of support from this part of the country. So now I wanted to ask this question to Vinay. Let's be a little more concise because we have completed 1 hour of our communication. We'll be completing another 10-15 minutes of our communication. Online streaming services have been a huge spur in the demand during recent times. How's your startup addressing this opportunity and parallel managing the business operations during lockdown? I think part of this you have shared, but if you wanted to share something more on this.
Yeah, just that this is a very bittersweet situation for content as an industry, because what is happening is in media space, on one side the demand for content has increased exponentially. People are at home and they're consuming more than ever. On the other side, the advertising revenue has completely dried up because there is no consumption in the market and there is no brand who is advertising right now. Right, most of the brands are not advertising right now. So it's a bittersweet situation to be in. But again, at least on our side, the way we are looking at it is an opportunity where we told ourselves that for these at least 2 to 3 months, when the lockdown is going to be in place and when the consumption is going to be on the lower side, let's look at it as a time to acquire users. Because if you see, interesting thing is because everybody has pulled out of the market and they're not advertising, the digital inventory is actually available at a peanut price. It's actually available at a very, very cheap price. So for us as a content company, we have actually doubled down on our marketing. And we are saying that let's acquire users at this point in time. Let's make them our loyal users. And in a couple of months, when situations normalize, because we will be their friend at this point in time, we will provide them the content that they need to, go through this time period, this stressful time period. We will turn into a real friend to our consumers.
And so by the end of this lockdown, we will basically have a very close relationship with our customers, and so the advertising in the longer term race, basically you will end up winning. Just one more point here, and then I'll close this argument. I also believe that for digital industry, digital marketing, this is a demonetization moment. There was already a shift happening from print to digital advertising. But now all of a sudden, marketers are going to realize that digital is the only medium which still is alive even during these times, through which they can reach out to their customers, right? And even after lockdown, digital is going to become even more important. So the shift to digital as an advertising dollar is going to accelerate by 3 to 5 times. And again, as I said, after the lockdown, digital marketing industry is going to come out as a big winner in this entire situation.
Great, great, Vinay. So, Jasmeet, this is the question which I wanted to ask. There is a saying, survival of the fittest. We all know that we all has to pass through that. And can't, to what extent do you agree that the ideology has been applicable to your startup?
Oh, 100%. I think 100%. I think it's not just being fit, it's also being fast and smart and efficient. I think just being fit is not enough. जो फिट होता है वो सक्सेस नहीं होता, जो स्मार्ट होता है, जो फास्ट होता है और फिट होता है, आई थिंक वो ज्यादा जल्दी सक्सेस कर सकता है. आई थिंक फॉर माय बिजनेस वी चेंज्ड आवर मॉडल सिंस वी स्टार्टेड एज अ बिजनेस. वी स्टार्टेड एज अ C2C प्लेटफॉर्म. हम लोगों को एक दूसरे को चीजें आपस में बेचने देते थे. फिर हमने रियलाइज किया कि लोग तो ये पार्ट टाइम जॉब की तरह करेंगे, बट जो हमारे देश के दुकानदार हैं, द शॉपकीपर्स दैट आर देयर इन अ कंट्री, ये तो ये फुल टाइम जॉब की तरह करते हैं. ये तो फुल टाइम इनको धंधा है. और 1 से 5 के बीच हमारे देश में कोई धंधा नहीं होता दुकानों में. कलकत्ता साइड तो मतलब दुकानें बंद करके लोग घर अंदर सो रहे होते हैं. सो द पॉइंट इज दैट्स एन अपॉर्चुनिटी दैट इज बीइंग वेस्टेड. हमारे पास टेक्नोलॉजी है, एक्सेसिबिलिटी है, वी हैव ऑल द नीड्स एंड वी हैव ऑल द लर्निंग्स. हम अपने देश के सेलर्स को क्यों ना स्ट्रॉन्ग करें, हम अपने देश के दुकानदारों को क्यों ना स्ट्रॉन्ग करें. बिकॉज द शॉपकीपर कम्युनिटी जो ये है होती है ना, ये एक सिंगल अर्निंग फैमिली, मतलब सिंगल मेंबर अर्निंग फैमिली होती है. यहाँ पे एक ही बंदा कमाता है और सारे खाते हैं, और वो कम्युनिटी काफी बड़ी है. अगर घर में ज्यादा पैसा आएगा तो आदमी ज्यादा कमाएगा, ज्यादा कंजम्पशन करेगा, जिससे हम सबको फायदा होगा, राइट. सो आई थिंक सर्वाइविंग से बेटर इंपॉर्टेंट है. सर्वाइव तो आप कर लोगे, समझो अगर आपने सारे स्टाफ को निकाल दिया, अकेली कंपनी चला रही हो CEO का वो डाल के, तो आप सर्वाइव कर लोगे, कोई नाम के लिए नहीं. बट आई थिंक अगर काम के लिए आपको सर्वाइव करना है तो आपको इनोवेट करना पड़ेगा, आपको नई नई चीजें करनी पड़ेंगी, और आपको फियरलेस होना पड़ेगा. अगर आप डर के बिजनेस चलाओगे तो आप वो भी नहीं कर सकते हो. आई थिंक यू हैव टू बी फियरलेस. मतलब ये नहीं सोचना कि 2 साल बाद क्या होगा, ये सोचो कि 2 महीने में हम क्या कर सकते हैं. I think for us being a young organization, because all the founders, we are in our early 20s, late early 20s, the average team is 20, 25. So for us, we are learning. And at the same time, what we are trying to do is we are trying to aggregate something that already exists. कुछ आप नई चीज करने जाते हो ना, उसको लोगों को सिखाने में काफी टाइम लगता है, बिकॉज उसका अडॉप्शन बहुत स्लो होता है. बट हमारे देश में असिस्टेड शॉपिंग, बार्गेनिंग, ये सब तो हम सदियों से करे आ रहे हैं. सो व्हाट वी हैव डन इज जो ऑफलाइन होता है हम बस उसी को ऑनलाइन हमने कॉपी पेस्ट किया. सो दैट इज एंड व्हाई वी हैव डन दैट इज सो दैट वी कुड स्ट्रेंथन आवर कंट्रीज शॉपकीपर्स, आवर कंट्रीज अर्निंग मेंबर्स. एंड आई थिंक वो एक काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो आई थिंक सर्वाइवल से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है अडॉप्शन. एंड आई थिंक दैट every startup probably has to do, name it Ola or Oyo, वो start किसी और से करते हैं, कुछ और करते हैं, फिर कुछ और करते हैं. So I think you have to keep up with time, and you have to keep up with the circumstances, and while you're doing that, be as fearless as you can. मतलब बिना डर के काम करो. So yeah.
So I always say people process in businesses have an expiry date.
Yeah.
If the early you identify it, you will be successful. So your business will, whatever you are doing today, tomorrow you may not be doing that. And that's very important. And Jasmeet, it's almost about quite long. It's almost about 4 years. I know you.
3.5 years. Yeah.
3.5 years. I know you. The first round, the seed round I invested in, I did a top up also after in the next round also. So I know the kind of passion you run, the kind of effort you are putting in, and the kind of, opportunity you are bringing for a small shopkeeper. I have seen that passion, and I've seen that kind of effort which you have put in to make sure that the small shopkeeper of an India gets benefit. Mithun, I wanted to ask you this: what are the outlooks on logistic post COVID-19?
Sure. I think the way to kind of consider this is to look at it from the macroeconomic perspective. Again, first principles, right? So logistics as a spend. So India, for every 100 rupees which Indian GDP spent, including weaponry, including healthcare, education, and whatnot, close to 14 rupees is spent in logistics. So logistics is a huge spend for Indian companies and Indian manufacturing and even Indian agro produce and primary inputs for manufacturing, right? It's a key driver.
Yeah.
And the initial information we are getting from some of the top banks is that India will grow between 1 to 2% this year. So fundamentally, what this means is logistics at the SME level trails at about 1.5 times that of GDP. So GDP at for the SME level, logistics will still grow at 3 to 4%, and overall it will grow between 2 to 3%. Is this great growth? It is not. But what is happening? The opportunity is in the vacuum which has been created because many small companies are dying. Logistics again is a very low barrier to entry business. It's a very high barrier to scale business. You can have 2 trucks and you can become a logistician. You can, but to kind of scale it from 2 trucks to 2,000 trucks, that is the game, right?
Yeah.
So the key issue is companies which haven't scaled or they have suboptimal scale will have a lot of difficulties in this time, and there'll be a vacuum created. And companies which have scaled responsibly will come to fill that vacuum because India will grow. And if we had 3 months of growth which has stopped, even to keep last year's levels, there will be some sort of a U-ish or a V-ish trend which will come in just before Diwali, right? So we anticipate that growth to kind of come in, and logistics companies which have scaled well will kind of drive that. The other interesting thing we are seeing is people have now started opening up to using trains, Indian Railway parcel service, right? It existed for like 100 years, but nobody really used it as much, right? The other key thing we are seeing is a lot of people are now open to even using coastal shipping. Now, coastal shipping is 1/8 to 1/20th the cost of road transport. And coastal shipping is a big driver of commerce in Gujarat, right? So because Gujarat has a fantastic network of ports and you have a lot of things moving in terms of primary inputs from port to port, be it Mundra, be it Kandla, be it Pipavav, etc. So postal shipping will actually kind of take off even in logistics. So a lot of panelists can actually explore that because it's going to be much cheaper. And it's fairly fast to move things from North India or like West India to South India. And it will be at a factor of 8 cheaper. So I think that is something that will take off in the next 6 months.
Thank you, Mithun. Now I would like to take up few questions from our attendees so that we can move further. So I would like to ask you, Piyush, how medical ad products marketing growing or grow after COVID effect? There's somebody who's Mr. Mitesh is asking this question. So if you would like to answer that.
I think the overall demand for healthcare related products and services is going to grow, but I think it depends on the specific category that it is, right? So anything connected to, for example, sanitizers, masks, hygiene, disinfectants, etc. Definitely that's going to grow. But other than that, these are the other rules that apply will be general. If you have some new, amazing, innovative way of providing the measurements of diabetes and the sugar of patients better than and at a cheaper price than anybody else, of course, that's going to grow. So I think we cannot make any general predictions. We can make some trend prediction that, of course, innovative things at lower price, particularly in healthcare, will always have very, very high demand in India. But of course, given the COVID-19 environment, people are more sensitive to hygiene, sanitizing, cleaning, things that increase their immunity, reduce chances of infection, vitamins, etc. Those things which are directly related, they will grow, but otherwise the general rules will apply.
Perfect. And Mr. Duggal is asking, as a startup, how much of equity do you think to go good to give up? Jasmeet, I will ask this question to you.
Yeah.
So as a startup, how much of equity do you think is good to give up when you raise a fund?
I think it all depends on what stage you are. So अगर आप early stage हो तो यार मतलब आपकी company कुछ है नहीं तो equity की कोई value नहीं है. So I think at an early stage you should not think about the equity part. You should think more about what you can do and who can help you. So I think जब गौरव जी ने हमारे सीड राउंड में इन्वेस्ट किया था तो हमने कभी वो नेगोशिएशन नहीं किया. Because for us that time it was very important to get off the ground. इक्विटी की इंपॉर्टेंस होती है जब आप लेटर स्टेज में हो, सीरीज ए, सीरीज बी, सीरीज सी स्टेज पे आते हो, तब वो इक्विटी की इंपॉर्टेंस होती है. बट आई थिंक टू आंसर योर क्वेश्चन, फॉर अ सीड राउंड एक 10 to 15% and up to 20% of dilution should be a decent 10 to 20% should be a decent ballpark. It also depends on what your startup is doing. अगर आपका एक capital intensive startup है तो शायद आपको you should combine it with some working capital rather than giving up equity. अगर आपका asset light है तो then you should focus largely on money that can help you grow. So I think it really depends on that. And in the early stages, don't really think about equity too much because your company is only valuable on paper during that time. उसकी value तब realize होती है जब आपकी company successful होती है and people start using you. Until then, you're just a name with a domain name and a listing. So that's it.
Quite true. And Jasmeet, I think what you said is makes a lot of sense. I say when you raise a fund and then only the idea is validated. Yeah. Before that, whatever valuation you are saying is of no value.
Yeah, it's all वो बोलते हैं ना सपनों की बात है.
So Deep is asking you, Vinay, you can reply on answer that what is catch up all about. So you can reply him on that. And then a common question, you can reply by text. A common question to all the panelists after having a vision of seeing an opportunity in creating product that will be successful. Himanshu is asking this: what was the challenges faced to raise initial funding? What was your funding required to market your product? I think this is a very long question, but I think he wanted to ask that what kind of challenges have you faced in raising your initial funding? Anyone of you would like to take? Piyush, if you would like to take, or Vinay, or
I can start perhaps, and then I'll let the esteemed panelists also chip in. I think the first thing you have to establish is credibility. Why are you the right entrepreneur to scale that particular opportunity? Sometimes your background helps in terms of your prior work experience and education, but sometimes it is the product that is actually going to convince, especially people you do not know, right? So I think every entrepreneur who's starting a business needs to have a unique belief on what need of the market is being unmet, and how is it that their product or their service can actually solve this. And so I think getting your first customer, getting the first pilot going, those things are even tougher than I would say getting the first investor. If you have traction and then you know how the entire fundraising process works in terms of what are investors looking for, what kind of, for example, that they will want a co-founder, that they will want a company instead of LLP. There are some very basic hygiene things. But ultimately, it is the product and the customers and the traction, especially in this environment, that will help you get the ultimate investment, no matter what stage it is. I'll let the others chip in.
Yeah. So Prachi Jain is asking, from all the panelists, thank you for your great insight. I am curious to know that apart from configuring operations and other tangible steps, how do you all as leaders change or reconfigure your own mindset, leadership style, intangibly, and allow that trickle down to your team? Vinay, would you like to take up? Or
yeah, I have a view on this. So I think the most important thing during these times, everybody panics, right? Everybody starts to see that the world is going to come to an end, and how are we going to do what we're going to do? And there's a lot of fear in the environment, right? So the first and foremost thing as leaders that we have to do is reassure everyone that it's all going to be all right. Because and at the end of the day, it does all work out, right? World is not going to end. We all know that. And at the end of the day, sooner or later, acha kharab, lekin hum sab, we are going to be here, and it's all going to work out in some other way, right? It's very important to reassure everyone like that. Second is usually, and this is a genetically wild thing about humans, that the moment there is fear we see of anything, the survival instincts kick in, and which is great, which is very good, very important also as a startup as well, as a leader as well. But at the same time, I think it's very important to have a winning mindset all the time, right? So it's important to go out, take time, step back, think about it, articulate, and then go back and address your team and tell them that we are not going to give in to the situation and get on a survival path and go into a hibernation, or stop thinking about we will not panic, we will not worry about today, but we will think about tomorrow. Today also we will be hopeful, we will be optimistic, and we will have a winning mindset. We will think about how do we win in these situations instead of how do we survive these things. So those are the two main important things that at least we did on our side, especially during COVID-19.
I can just chip in with one or two follow-on points. I think one key thing for founders is to identify themselves, whether they're a wartime CEO or a peacetime CEO, right? So a peacetime CEO focuses a lot on growth, right? When things are good and there's money and the market's great. The wartime CEO is built to kind of cut costs and look at survival and whatnot. These are two separate lenses. In fact, there's an excellent essay on the Anderson Horowitz page, the link which I've shared on the group, called Wartime CEOs and Peacetime CEOs. I think that is the first thing, right? So identify who are the wartime CEOs right now. If you're not the wartime CEO, ensure that somebody else is empowered to take over while you focus on things you're good at, number one. Number two, the most important thing I believe is to over-communicate. Till your team is bored, keep talking to them every day, keep sharing, send an email update, call them on video chat, send a WhatsApp video to everyone, right? Be there on all your WhatsApp groups, all your Slack groups and whatnot. I think over-communication is great because it creates a sense of community, especially in wartime. So I think these are two small tangible things. I think one is the understanding of who you are inherently, and the second thing is to kind of adapt to that. Right?
Very good thought, Mithun, which you have shared, that this is the time to communicate with your team. As much as you will communicate with your team and keep your team engaged, this is the time for that. And I think all of us must do that. Friends, this is the last question to all four people. Very short answer, because we have attended all the question answers from our attendees. So one is one learning which you have got in this lockdown period or a COVID-19, any one learning. So I will start with Piyush. Piyush, what's your learning in this COVID-19 situation?
I think you can keep growing even if the world is falling apart. So far, we've been able to prove that.
Your business is like that. So you are saying, yeah.
I will just say +1 to Piyush. That's it. That's the learning. You can.
So you are also enjoying, because times are good for you, Vinay, as well. Good. Jasmeet, any learning, any specific tangible learning?
I think planning is all about planning on an Excel sheet. Reality can change anytime, so you have to be prepared for that. I think take every day as it comes. Don't overthink or underthink about tomorrow. Plan for tomorrow, but be prepared for consequences of yesterday. So I think that would be my biggest learning is things can go wrong or right anytime. Just keep doing what you're doing and just keep changing according to situations.
Perfect.
Yeah,
and Mithun.
Sure. I think one key thing is I think founders and tend to take VC advice with a pinch of salt all the time. But I think what I found in this particular juncture is VC advice has been excellent, because a lot of the VCs that we have on the board have been through 2 or 3 crises before, right? So, and because all companies of theirs are on the crisis, right? So the same communication is being transferred across, and we are getting a lot of wisdom from operators who have done this before. So VC advice and advisor advice has been excellent, and they've been very supportive in this time. So that is actually something that we don't see a lot in peacetime. So that is great.
Yeah, so learn from experts, listen to experts. This is the time for that. I think that's a wonderful thing. And all of you four, because it's 90 minutes past, we had a great conversation. We have a lot to talk, but time is a constant. So I now give it to, Dhiren bhai or Sanjay bhai to take it forward. We all have done our job.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a wonderful session, and many new points have arrived, and many people have learned from that. So we have an announcement. We have a webinar at 5 p.m. tomorrow in which keynote speaker is National President of Credai and CEO of SEBI Group, Jakshay Shah. People from real estate or related field must make a point to join this session. We have 17th April, 11 a.m. webinar on liquidity crunch and working capital challenges for MSMEs. Dr. H.P. Kumar, former CMD, NSIC, and Director, Power to SME, will join as speaker. Session with a Thai Surat again at 3 p.m. on 17th April, where 3 leading women entrepreneurs will talk about entrepreneurship 2020. Pratima Kirloskar from Kirloskar Bros, Vandana Saxena, who received Order of British Empire equivalent to Padma Shri, and Prachi Jain, Director of AWE Early Growth Funds, shall be moderated by co-founder of Woohoo, Surbhi Saxena Madhwani. And we have a webinar on, very interesting webinar on rise and fall of family businesses by Professor Hitesh Shukla, who is research and work closely with family businesses of India and abroad. Program shall be moderated by Dr. Tanu Narang, and who is a faculty, teaches the subject at university. Sunday, we will be probably with you on an India quiz, and please look for more details. Please, if anyone interested, WhatsApp on 7211173105. And now I request Dhiren Bhai to propose vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sanjay. It was a really very wonderful talk. I can say it's a talk, but it is a very informative. All the attendees here given that message that is a very informative and very useful talk between all the 4 panelists. I am very much thankful on behalf of Chamber, Jasmeet, Mithun, Piyush and Vinay. Really, it will help so many people, so many youngsters that how they can do, how they will proceed for the after the COVID-19. I'm very much thankful to all of you on behalf of Chamber of Commerce. I'm also thankful to Gaurav Singhvi, because Gaurav, you have moderated a very good session, I think, and it was a very nice way to moderate this all the webinar. This webinar, I'm very much thankful, Gaurav, to you. I'm very much thankful to all the participants. Special thanks to Mr. Adul from Thailand and all the participants from Thailand and all over India. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, boss. And 250 people attended. That's a great achievement which we had.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmeet ji.
Everybody.
Thank you, Mithun. Thank you, Piyush and Vinay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.